Get close to your customers, so close that you tell them what they need well before they realize it themselves. Everybody's going to go out of lockdown, every economy, so let's go and prepare something about how fast can we get out of this situation, how fast can companies recover from this situation. But then I had to rewrite my presentation 2 or 3 times. And because you know what's happening. You heard the news in France, you heard the news in the UK, the numbers are peaking now. We had second wave, third wave, and unfortunately, the visibility short-term is not there. So we have to navigate businesses in times of uncertainties, and we have to navigate at sight, but there is more hope than this. So today, I want to really give you real cases examples to share that with you. So you will forgive me, I will a bit stick to my text because all these examples, I think, is very interesting for each of the businesses where you work, right? So the succession of pandemic waves and associated lockdowns and restrictions are dramatically impacting businesses around the world. The future has become so unpredictable that investment decisions and business strategies have become a gamble altogether. But technology and economic foresight is making it possible to identify a number of trends that may indicate future radical transformations of business models in the years to come. I'm going to share with you today 2 important trends in the new normal. Firstly, the importance of brand visibility in the new normal, and secondly, how businesses are using data to get insight to drive their business. After 10 months into the pandemic, brands continue to face many uncertainties. One thing is sure, social distancing requirements have caused people to spend more time online than ever before, and rapidly accelerating e-commerce, e-learning, and remote working. This online surge has made it increasingly critical for businesses to maximize their digital presence, to reach potential customers and engage them across the purchase journey. In this context, online video has become a powerful performance driver for brand building. A recent Google survey suggests that 70% people say that they have bought a brand as a result of seeing something on YouTube. So you can imagine how important today online has become. To get this right, it is key to focus on 3 imperatives. First one is understanding the impact of the new normal on customer demand. Confinement means that customers' purchase decision is linked to increased time spent online at home. This means that catching the attention of prospects requires understanding of how potential buyers spend their time. The following new habits are to be taken into consideration while trying to reach customers online. Firstly, families are back in the living room, in front of TV, and casting phone content on that TV. Work for home for couples and homeschooling for children means that family size are back. This impacts not only the size of pizza ordered, but also the size of cars to be conceived, especially if the expected COVID-related baby boom does happen. There is also expected increased demand for everything that is do-it-yourself, for homemade, for homegrown produce. All of this will see a boom and impact how our customers will be spending their money in the future. Second imperative, adapting to customers' interests. To get the most out of any campaign and build meaningful connections with your customers, the campaign should reflect customers' present interests and intent. By understanding and responding to their preferences and behavior, you can reach viewers over time with a campaign that responds to where they are along the purchase path. This means that content should be made specific to audience segment and that viewers experience tailor-made for them. For instance, to connect quickly to their target audience, the forthcoming Decathlon shop in Bagatelle will need to create online video that can be relayed by a number of Facebook groups. I will name two of them, Bicycle Market Mauritius or Rando Trail and Nature. They will have also to carefully identify those specific influencers in the sport community in Mauritius to share this content. But above all, Decathlon will have to create custom messages to reach segments who spend the most on sports items. Third imperative is to make simple tweaks to existing traditional communication. At this point, most brands have gotten used to pivoting to address changing consumer behavior, especially retailers who face ongoing restrictions at their physical stores. Retail brands facing this pilot have found that small changes to their video campaigns can help further their e-commerce goals. L'Oréal USA, for example, is proof that simply updating a text overlay or a call to action can improve your outcome at a fraction of the cost. This spring, when the company was confronted with closing retail stores, the marketing team adapted their strategy to focus on e-commerce and drive efficient visits to retail websites. L'Oréal repurposed existing video creative by adding a CTA about a new family and friends deal. The team then ran the creative as a True View for Action campaign, prompting users to click on the offer. This approach helped hit conversion goals and showed benefit earlier in the customer journey as well. As we've seen here, the impact of the new normal on brand visibility is huge. But there are other key business components that are radically impacted by disruptions. In the last 10 months, we've probably experienced a decade worth of change. The last time that we faced such acceleration of societal, economic, and technological changes was back in the 40s during the Second World War. From a business development perspective, despite the fact that the pandemic situation creates uncertainties, which is in itself a hindrance to investment, the bonus will be huge for those who are able to rethink their business model and harness the benefits of disruptions. Where many have seen their business shrinking, few have captured growth by meeting the demand of the moment. However, the real game changer is the capacity to equip businesses to render them agile and resilient for what's to come next. And the single most important enabler to achieve this is digital transformation. A transformation that goes beyond the mere digital marketing and acceleration of e-commerce. In fact, leveraging on data to get business insight is what will really matter. This is exactly how Accenture is helping businesses through their transformation journey with its intelligent operation engine called Synapse. Accenture is focused on delivering business outcomes for its clients by transforming its operations using intelligent automation, data analytics, and artificial intelligence capacities. Synops accelerates the journey to digital, data-driven, intelligent operations. It brings together the best innovative digital technologies, process, and industry expertise. It orchestrates the allocation of work across human and machine talents. It draws on data and insights from more than 1,000 client engagements and more than 25 years of industry and business process expertise. It monitors and provides a real-time window into the parts of the business that need improvement. This is achieved through 4 components: collecting, monitoring, storage, analysis, reporting from diverse sources of internal, external, structured, and unstructured data. Delivering insights and intelligence with AI and analytics tools for improving business performance. Orchestrating of work for efficient allocation between robots, human agents, combining these human and machine talent effectively. Synops comes up with a global productivity hub enabling the tracking of holistic worker performance. And that means both human and bots. Enabling the setting up of an initial baseline for automation, but also to continuously monitor performance. Accenture Automation Identification Diagnostic Tool, AIDT, provides accelerated process assessment for automation opportunities by leveraging capabilities including desktop recorder, data pattern analyzer, and workflow diagram generator. In addition to core automation, a suite of analytics apps helps provide insight of different processes across various points of the process lifecycle. Outmaneuvering disruption requires a new operational model. Intelligent and agile organizations report a much higher success rate than compared to companies pursuing only efficiency. The difference in return on investment between companies in the stable stage and intelligent operations is up to 3 to 4 times greater. So let me give you a few examples of how businesses have been transformed lately using Synops. A global beauty leader needed to reinvent its indirect procurement process by making 90% of all indirect procurement spend visible through analytics and reporting. Synops helped free up the indirect procurement team for higher value work, thus generating savings worth 50 million. For a major American retailer, we leverage machine learning and AI to improve forecast accuracy by 15%, resulting in a reduction of inventory by 30%. The shifted focus from inventory to delighted customers boosted productivity by 33%. For a large communication and technology company, we reduced production costs for digital and print content and improved efficiency and messaging consistency by introducing a streamlined approach to developing assets for multiple disparate workflows, thus realizing production savings of 30%. Furthermore, the elimination of production inefficiencies from working with multiple vendors improved our on-time delivery rates to 99% and above. Other providers are also developing tools to give business insight based on data. I will here give 2 examples from Google. After learning that nearly every domestic and international flight would likely be grounded for months, airlines were focused to cut their losses and look for new growth models. The team at a major US airline used aggregate Google flight demand data to identify routes and low click share and high search demand. They then use these information cues in combination with first-party data to prioritize the reopening of some routes over others. Today, this airline has a completely new product strategy linked with the situation of COVID. Another one. When pandemic threw the entertainment industry into a flux, traditional distribution strategies no longer applied. Studios faced a choice. Should they release new films directly to streaming services, in theaters with existing demand, or both? Google helped one major film studio analyze search interest for a new film at the zip code level to determine whether and where demand existed for the theatrical release. A similar approach can, and in fact already, is being used to optimize retail and QSR distribution and marketing strategies. Guys, I've given you several examples how business are now reviewing their business model based on insight provided by data. So I would like to do something now, just bring it to our Mauritian reality and to the reality we are very close right now, that is sitting in a hotel in the north of the island. So let's think, what does this mean for the Mauritian economy? So what we're proposing now is just spend some time thinking about the case of the tourism industry in Mauritius and see how we could apply these trends to rethink Tourism 2.0. So this was the tourism industry in 2019. Leading industry in Mauritius, contributing 8.1% of GDP directly, 23% indirectly, so a major component of our economy. First provider in foreign currency, 19,500 rooms, out of which 13,500 are in hotels, others in the guest houses. Average tourist stay, 11 days. Tourist arrival, 1.3 million tourists. But out of this 1.3 million, only 36,000 were staying more than 2 weeks. Our market, 22% Réunion, 22% France, 10% in several locations, including Réunion, Germany, South Africa. So a mix between long-haul destination and regional market. But most of the income coming from the long-haul destinations. So since March 18th, 2020, the industry has been hit by a combination of lockdown, curfew, and though lifted in June, has continued to suffer consequences of drastic travel restrictions and quarantine imposed on incoming passengers. Added to this, if you look at the airline industry worldwide, it has been heavily hit. But the worst case is that our own airline had been really hit and is today in self-administration. Clearly, even if we didn't have any restrictions in Mauritius, we would still be hit because the surveys have shown that intention to travel has drastically gone down. And intention to travel for holidays, taking long-haul flights, is at its lowest. So even if we decided to completely open, that will not change much. So we need to take this out of our mind. Opening the borders will help resuscitate the industry. It will not. Because demand is not there. If people are afraid, they will manage their lives at home. They will manage their lives with their work, with the new components of work from home and so on. But they will not think about holidays in a very far away distance. So let's do the same analysis that we did for these other industries, which I gave as examples. Let's ask ourselves 3 questions. What is the impact of the new normal on customer demand? So we've said, shrinking intentions to travel long distance. Short stay become less attractive due to quarantine and restrictions. So you just imagine if people wanted to spend 11 days, which was the average for Mauritius, and they have to spend 14 days quarantine first, then something doesn't work. Now let's imagine instead of 11 days, people will spend 1 month. So if you count 15 days quarantine plus 1 month, it still doesn't work, right? And let's not forget one thing. The type of tourism we have had, very dependent on the travel and airline industry. Very dependent. Because you travel during 1 day, nearly 1 day time you spend at the airport, you organize and so on, and then you spend 11 days. Your budget, 30% spent on the air ticket. Very dependent, right? Now we are saying that the airline industry has some problems, right? Now the other thing, social distancing in flights. This is something else. So some people are afraid of not being in a plane because in an economic class, the social distancing cannot really be respected, right? Question 2. What are the new concerns of customers and their interests? New concerns. Working outside of the office has become a norm, isn't it? Worldwide, this has become a norm now. It's not the exception. When you hear someone saying, I will spend 1 day working from home, it was 1 day out of 1 week. Now it's the norm. And I can tell you, I give you the example of Accenture. We have 3,000 employees in Mauritius, and today, despite the fact there is no lockdown, we have only 600 employees in office. Because we globally, we are preparing for other waves. And even though we are pretty safe in Mauritius, we need to be able to deliver at any time. So all the other employees are working from home. The other concern is that there is a strong demand to be freed. People feel locked down. They feel in a prison. So there's a demand to be freed from restrictions linked with social distancing. So if you think of holidays, you think of freedom from social distancing. You think of freedom from the constant fear of being infected. Question 3, are there simple tweaks to our traditional campaign to build a relevant online campaign, right? What is our traditional campaign, right? L'île Maurice, c'est un plaisir. It was there. Now we have Mauritius unique lifestyle. You've seen it on the when you've watched Liverpool play at Anfield, you've seen Mauritius unique lifestyle. This is connected, if you think well and if you go inside the website, it is connected with MTPA websites, which is selling traditional touristic stays in Mauritius, right? So we have to think, can we tweak this for a new industry? After having asked these questions, we realize that a hotel industry 2.0, which we would call a hospitality industry 2.0, right? Not a tourism industry, certainly not, is possible. How is it possible? 11 days honeymoon stay type. This is what we had before. So we cannot have 11 days now. We need to have something else. We need to have staycation with family. Staycation, what does it mean? It means that families come in this hotel, they use rooms. There are enough facilities for them not to work from home, but to work from paradise. Because anyway they are working in their homes. Anyway their employers are accepting that they will not be in office. So this is a new market for us. It's a new market. All in hotel leisure trip. So you see, when tourists used to come here, one of the striking features was that the tourists spend a lot of time in the hotel. They didn't spend a penny outside of hotels. Not a penny. So I've talked about it earlier. This feeling of being imprisoned and this urgent need to be freed, this is a demand to which we can respond. But not with all leisure in one single hotel, all food, everything in one single hotel. So in Mauritius today we're taking a lot of precautions, but this is COVID-free. The island is COVID-free. So we're talking about work from hotel, we're talking about medium-term expatriation living experience. Very different from the 11 days. Flight travel components have a high impact on decision-taking. I said that before. When you travel for short time, the percentage budget for the flight, for a trip, is 30%. Now, if we imagine 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, what is the percentage? What is the percentage of your flight in terms of cost? Much less. So the dependency of this model, Hospitality 2.0, on the airline industry is completely reduced. People can decide to travel in three days afterwards and not on that particular day because they are doing something else. If you're going for 11 days, you want exactly that date. I have my holidays on that date, I have to travel on that date. But if you're going for an expatriation, you can go 1 week later. We'll not change anything. So it changes the way and the dependency, the way we depend on the airline industry and the way we organize the airline industry. COVID-19 has been the hindrance to our existing industry. Hospitality 2.0, COVID-free status becomes the unique selling point. The unique selling point. So you see, rethinking in the new normal is something we can apply to any industry. And the last thing, synergy and cross-pollination of this hospitality industry with the silver economy and the education hub. Because you've heard about these, right? Silver economy and education hub. We are investing, if you go at Medellin, you will see education hub, a lot of universities, right? There. The silver economy is one of the fastest growing industries in Mauritius, where we bring in people who have finished their work career, and they come here in Mauritius, more than 60, and they want to have a nice life. What are the synergies with these? So these people who have come here, the grandfather and so on, will tell to his son, you come with your family, stay in a hotel, right? Expatriate in Mauritius because now you don't need to work from office. You can work from paradise. So I will conclude with this from Steve Jobs. Get close to your customers. So close that you tell them what they need well before they realize it themselves. And you see, this is exactly what we just did with the tourism industry. So thank you very much.